I'm really not into dreams anymore, okay? I'm into fucking nightmares.
Ooh, was that foreshadowing? Jon Gruden has resigned as head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. The worst part of all of this, the saddest part, the thing that pulls at my heartstrings is knowing that this kid is going to have to get a new Halloween costume. It is, after all, with a great bit of irony that Jon Gruden's final game as a Raider was a loss to Khalil Mack. Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. I do apologize to Raiders fans for cursing your team at this magnitude, Perna. When I placed you atop my power rankings to curse your team, it was in good fun. You know, to lose a game or two. I did not intend to leave your team in complete disarray. And here we are, the number one. The number one team is the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders, baby! Time to see if my number one spot is a real curse. I am sorry I turned your coach into a guy who writes racist, homophobic stuff and doesn't think women can do the same jobs as men. I have to be better in knowing my own power to curse teams. I take responsibility for that, and the Power Rankings episode will be up tonight. So, Gruden is out. Rich Bisaccia is in as interim head coach. I have more questions about why Gruden is the only person ousted from this Washington football team investigation, and I need to confess that I too have sent many inappropriate emails where I bash pet owners. Sorry, I don't like dogs. I think they're messy, freeloading. That's good sports. Please, for continued NFL news coverage, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Today's episode is brought to you by Manscaped.com/goodsports. Manscaped is the longest running sponsor of this show. You know that. And you know the Performance Package Kit will take care of every single pube on your body. And now Manscaped just dropped an ultra premium body wash. And here's a censored version of me squirting the gel in the shower. Not this time, FCC. This is seriously my favorite body wash. My wife even complimented how nice I smelled after using it. It is infused with aloe vera and sea salt to keep your skin fresh, moist, and clean without ever drying out. And that's important to me and my beard in this dry climate. Otherwise, my beard resembles a bad before image in a dandruff commercial. And this 16-ounce aluminum bottle looks almost as sexy as you after a fresh trim with the Lawnmower 4.0 and a scrub with its vegan shower gel, which I think means you can eat it. No, it just means it doesn't have dyes or chemicals. You know the drill. Go to manscaped.com/goodsports for 20% off plus free shipping. Well, this is a surprise. Not Matt Nagy, not Urban Meyer, not Mike Zimmer, not Vic Fangio, not Zach Taylor, but Jon Gruden was the first NFL head coach fired/resigned in 2021. Let's tell Jon what he's won. An undetermined period of time where all you will feel is shame. Unemployability in the NFL and in television. Unless you like Newsmax. And I think you do. And most importantly, a pair of Oakley sunglasses. Yes, to look the part, but also to make sure nobody has to look you in the eyes. Like all of you, I was shocked. I was appalled and disgusted today when I saw that there would be a Home Alone reboot.
Home Sweet Home Alone.
Oh no, a ladder!
You think I'm that stupid?
Yes, I do.
That reminds me, here's a great impression of Mark Davis reading the Gruden grinders. I mean the Gruden emails. You know these emails are bad when even Richie Incognito was like, dude, I can't believe you put that shit in writing. This last week, the NFL has been a bit of a shit show for head coaches. First, Urban Meyer's lap was treated like an old deck that a young woman tried to sand down with her buttocks. Then, stemming from the Washington football team culture investigation, these Gruden emails were revealed. And most shockingly, Matt Nagy has a winning record. What is happening? The one photo to most appropriately sum up the last week and a half is this pic of Gruden and Meyer from the Outback Bowl. Brian Fisher, thank you for posting that. Now, I am assuming you know by now what Gruden said in writing that got him fired. It's all over the place. But in case you're unsure, here's a quick recap. He called Roger Goodell another name for a British cigarette, but used the hard T. He criticized Goodell for, quote, pressuring Jeff Fisher to draft queers. He used racial tropes to describe DeMaurice Smith, head of the NFLPA. He criticized the NFL's attempt to curb concussions. Who the hell is pro-concussion? That's like being pro-robbing old ladies.
Okay, let me see here.
We also found out that Gruden was emailing lewd photos, including a few of Washington cheerleaders. He called Roger Goodell an anti-football pussycat. Just removed the cat. He was not a fan of women officials and wanted Eric Reed fired for kneeling during the anthem. You have to hand it to Gruden. He's an equal opportunity offender. He really made sure to offend everyone. Black people, gay people, women, and of course, gingers, the most persecuted class of all. Or as Adam Schefter described it, a clean sweep of people he offended.
Gruden had a clean sweep of offending NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, women, gays, minorities.
A clean sweep is also what I call it when I only have to wipe my ass one time after a shit.
What better fucking execution?
Right now, the only thing I know for sure is that I'd pay a lot of money to be in the room when Jon Gruden finds out that the new Superman is gay. The NFL discovered these emails while reviewing some 650,000 emails the independent investigation of the football team discovered and sent to the NFL. Apparently, some of the dumb shit Gruden put in writing started with an email chain about Tiger Woods leaving his caddy. We all know who the Gruden is in our own friend group. You fire off a text to the group thread, something like, hey guys, can't wait to hang Saturday. I'll have food and I'll have beer. Bring anything else you want. Friend 1 responds, I got a new bottle of whiskey. I'll bring that. Can't wait to share. Friend 2, I got my poker table and chips ready to go. Friend 3, my wife made some bomb-ass brownies that I'll bring. Friend 4, I'll bring the prostitutes. You know, the ones I've got tied up in my basement. Gruden is that guy. But nobody knows for sure if he's actually joking.
Be a little bit more like me. Be a little bit of a jerk.
Yep. No, that's bad advice, Nathan Peterman. Like I said, you should never trust a man who wears a coat like this to lead your team. And here's a piece of advice for NFL owners and GMs across the league, all right? Try to not hire a head coach that has his former players describing playing for him as hell.
What was it like playing for Coach Gruden the first time around he was there?
Hell. We didn't like each other. He doesn't like young guys.
Or a fraud/used car salesman. No offense, Carvana.
He just always been a fraud to me. He just always been a fraud to me. Never from day one, he's been a used car salesman.
When we all read what Gruden called Roger Goodell in an email, we laughed. We laughed at how dumb Gruden must really be to send that shit out in writing. We laughed at learning that Gruden emails at a 7th grade level. This is how I imagine Roger Goodell decided to take Gruden down. And he definitely wanted Gruden to go down. Yeah, Martha, could you go ahead and leak the racist one? That should get Gruden fired. Well, I'll be damned, Martha. He's getting eaten alive in the media, but is also sort of getting a pass here. Getting a pass here since he didn't work for the NFL at the time. Well, surely a mix of racial insensitivity and homophobic phrases will get him canned. Martha, could you go ahead and release the one where the rascal called me the bad word for a bundle of sticks? That ought to get him. Now Gruden had to be fired, or forced to resign, if you will. You can't be the boss of a multi-billion-dollar corporation and have employees who wrote what Gruden wrote about Goodell. Also, I don't think you need to shame people like Mike Tirico and Tony Dungy, who had good relationships with Jon Gruden and defended him publicly, defended him before the rest of this shit came out. Gruden can be a good person to those people and also be who he is in those emails, and that's not the fault of Dungy and Tirico. The real question, though, going forward is, who will the Raiders replace Jon Gruden with in the short term and then the long term? The Raiders have promoted Tom Cable as their new interim head coach. He's done nothing bad, right? Oh God, no. I just read Tom Cable's Wikipedia page, so that's not gonna work. Okay, the Raiders are promoting their special teams coordinator, Rich Bisaccia. You probably would have expected them to go with Gus Bradley, who has actual head coaching experience, but maybe he didn't want any part of that shit. Or maybe the man making the decisions for the Raiders literally has bad decision written all over his head. And as for their next head coach, Ben Albright tweeted that he wouldn't be surprised to see Mike Mayock go after Dabo Swinney, head coach of the Clemson Tigers. That makes sense considering nobody has drafted more Clemson players than the Raiders over the last few years. Hell, I think the Raiders have more Clemson players on their roster than the Clemson Tigers signed this year in the recruiting class. The bigger question, will anything come out in relation to the Washington football team? Jon Gruden isn't rich enough or powerful enough for the NFL to protect like they've done for Dan Snyder. And more importantly, a football team that makes them a lot of money. Why has the NFL not ousted Dan Snyder, who, unlike Gruden, actually did despicable things, not just say them in emails? Is it because they're scared of Dan Snyder? Does he have too much dirt on other owners? Does he have too much power? Are they scared if they take down the Washington football team, they'll lose too much money, or if they take down the Washington football team owner, it will set off a domino chain of other teams that eventually collapse in on itself? Probably all of the above. Dan Snyder is one of them. Gruden was just a disposable employee. If the NFL does not expose its findings about the football team from this cultural investigation, they will continue to be viewed as a hypocrisy. The punishment for Dan Snyder, by the way, is staying away from the team for an undisclosed amount of time while his wife acts as owner and they continue to make a shit ton of money.
Yeah, and I can go with 10 holes and them 10 holes can be classes.
Washington football team was also fined $10 million, which just ensured no upgrades would be provided for the football team stadium that they play in. Gruden was sending some of these emails to Bruce Allen, who was the Washington football team manager at the time, who famously said,
The culture is actually damn good.
So we'll find out probably more people Gruden emailed, and hopefully the NFL has the dignity to let the world know how bad the Washington football team was.
Is actually damn good.
Otherwise, we just patiently wait for Frank Caliendo to do his impression of Jon Gruden, reading those emails. Do it, Frank. It's your job.
Jon Gruden, University of I do this shit for free. I'm done with that guy.
Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Make sure you come back and watch the Power Rankings episode. That will be up later this afternoon, I promise. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, @BrandonBurna.